I think when you get somebody that starts out in the sport and they have success, whether it's in target archery or hunting, it sets the hook. That's the way I look at it. Is you get your bow, you practice, you have some success. Now the hook's set. Now you're a lifer. You're not going anywhere. You're part of the tribe now, right?
Yeah. And there's always people that'll help you out. And, that's the key is, getting some good instruction. And, those that buy a compound bow, I always tell them, buy what fits you, spend only what you have to get the setup. The ready to shoot packages are really great.
Yep.
They don't normally come with, a lot of times it'll be a biscuit, which is probably not the best one unless you're bouncing through brush or something.
Right.
And then not a very good sight. They'll have a quiver and buy the low end arrows. Don't buy the high end ones because you can't shoot good enough to see a
Tell the
difference.
difference. Right.
But don't buy a cheap release. Buy a good quality release because that is your main thing is your release of that string.
Yep.
Um, but then on my fishing bow, my recurve that I got to start fishing, I don't use a glove or tab. I got the no gloves on it
Right.
because I'm
Those
not going
work
to
great.
be on the water and get slimy on my glove and try and grab the string. I just use one of those, and that's nice on that.
Yeah.
But you got to have that consistent release, and with the mechanical release, you got to do that properly. You can't pull the trigger. That's
Right.
what we use if you're using a wrist strap or even the thumb releases.
Hmm.
Um, Quit pulling the trigger. You do not pull the trigger, and you put it on your wrist, not your hand. I see so many of them slide that it's clip on their hand.
Yeah.
Well, that's not where it's supposed to be, and they'll see them their finger out, and then they'll just cram on that trigger. And
Yep.
I've
Yep.
seen some of the little shorts of the this one lady she'll bend all over and she'll lean on, all this movement is dude, you need to get a hold of me because you're doing this the hard way. Use your shoulders and your arms to pull it instead of your back, and then
Right.
the fingers locked out as stiff as she can make it, and then crams on
Boom.
the trigger, and it's like,
Yep.
yeah, okay. Then I seen a guy with a recurve. He was doing it, and he was plucking his hand way out. He'd shoot and plug it way out, and it's like, yeah, okay, you're somewhat consistent, but not even consistent at what he was doing. So
Yes. Well, it's like so Einstein's definition of madness is doing the same thing over and expecting a different result. With archery, it's doing the same thing over and wanting the same result, right? So whatever it is in your form, ideally we all shoot with nice clean form, but um, just getting it to work for you. And we all have different bodies. We're all built different, and then having somebody like yourself who can kind of help teach the archer to paint by numbers. Have a
right.
checklist of things to do. These are the things you're doing in your form, and you need to be consistent when you do that.
Well, and the grip is such an important part of it. When I do mine, I open my hand up and then gets it in that webbing part of my hand between the thumb and the index finger, and then I relax my hand and let it drop down. I did Hapkido for about 20 years.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
I'd like to do it again, but I don't think um, with the surgeries and stuff I've had, I don't think my body would like taking the falls.
Yeah. That's the downside to Brazilian Jiu Jitsu and Hapkido. I mean, for me, I love to train, but also at 55 years old, several knee surgeries, several other surgeries, I have to I have to train in a I have to be smart. So I have to train smart. I can't roll around the mats with a bunch of young killers anymore. I'm pretty well, you know, I'm good for a couple of rolls, and then if I don't really know you, and I'm probably not going to roll with you because I got to go to work tomorrow. I can't be banged up. I'm not in my
Yeah.
20s anymore.